Okay, so this keyword, it is useful. For those of you who come from an object-oriented background, this might be familiar to you. You basically have an object, it has a method, you want that thing to do something, but you want the method to be fairly generic. So in this case, when we call speak, then it's going to either say woof or meow based on the property of the actual animal that's doing the speaking. So that's very useful, and it's probably a common pattern that you've seen. Yes? Todd. In case you missed it before. All right. But unfortunately with JavaScript, this can get a little tricky at times. So especially in the callback realm, you'll notice that you get down here, you have the speak function. It's supposed to do what we saw in the other one, but we're actually doing a callback in that do trick. And so we come down here to the bottom and it says, okay, I'm going to do this trick. I'm going to have the dog speak. But why am I getting oops global rather than the dog barking? This has haunted me at times, and I'm sure if you've done any substantial development, it's haunted you as well. So the most important thing to do whenever you're debugging problems with this is to find the call site. This is where you're actually invoking the function, because there's only one case where this, the value of this, the object that represents this, is actually lexically determined. What that means is the value of this, the object that represents this, is actually determined when the function is invoked. So hopefully that will be clear as we go through here. So looking at this, who can tell me where the call site is for trick? I'll even give you a hint. Where is the call site for trick? Yes? Not do trick. Close. Have to look for the parentheses. All right? So if you saw this up here, it says do trick, and then where you actually see the parentheses. So unless you see parentheses, it's not a call site. You may think that it's down here, oh, dog speak, that's a call site. No, no parentheses right there. All right, so this is the call site, and where you call it is going to determine the value of this. So that may not be clear, so let's apply some rules to this to make sure that we understand it. And actually, you can go through a very ordered series of steps to determine what the object is for this. Have you called it with the keyword new? Have you used call or apply to invoke the function? Are you using a context object? Are you using strict mode? Or are you just kind of defaulting to the global object? And then there's a special case for the ES6 arrow, which I'll get to. So let's hop through here, and for each rule, I'm going to tell you if you're calling a function with new, you say new animal. Then what happens is it creates a new object, and that new object becomes this. So you'll see we have this animal function, and by calling new animal, that creates a new object. So whenever we do something with that animal, the newly created object is the value of this. Next rule, you can actually force the value of this by using call or apply, or in certain libraries and cases you can use the bind function. So in this case, it's cut off, of course. So let's just take this louder function here by saying I'm going to use this dog object, and I'm going to call louder. Oops. So louder, that's going to force the dog says into this upper function. All right? So the next one is I'm actually forcing an object. I'm passing the object into the array. This is actually, in my mind, the most clear and the most functional way of doing it, but sometimes this isn't the easiest way to construct your code. And then finally, everything defaults to the global scope unless you're in strict mode. If you're in strict mode, it's going to give you an error if something accidentally is assigned to global.
Sorry, you had another 10 seconds. I missed 10 seconds.